Dear viewers, welcome to Interview with Stephen Ahwen. On today's show, our spotlight is on menstrual hygiene challenges school guests first. And my guest is Tom Blessing. She is a manager at Life Savers Enterprise, Nigeria. She's also the chief executive officer of Tom Eddie Blessing Foundation, which is known for developing, educating, and training youth to be at their best. And as well, help them find their identity. Tom Blessing is a mentor, and she's currently working with the School of Mentorship, whose goal is to raise giants. She has worked with several organizations such as Volunteer Hub Africa, United Bank for Africa, and Christian Medical and Dental Association Nigeria. Interestingly, Blessing studied economic education at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. She joins me from Abakaliki, Ebonyi State. Blessing, welcome to Interview with Stephen Ahwen. It's so nice to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really happy about that. Thank you.
Okay, by way of introduction, what does menstrual hygiene mean?
Okay, I think I would like to explain what hygiene in itself means. Hygiene in itself is a series of process that people take to preserve their health. So when we're looking at menstrual hygiene, it's a series of procedure of process that the female gender carry out to protect their health. In what sense? To prevent infection during their period and also to prevent other, as well as feel comfortable, to help them feel comfortable when during their menstrual cycle, that's during their period. That's what menstrual hygiene is all about.
Okay, thank you for putting us in the right perspective as to what menstrual hygiene means. Now, menstrual health has become a subject of concern. What are the challenges that menstrual health pose to girls in school?
Okay, well, the truth is there's been a lot of challenges. Yeah, menstrual health itself it's challenging in itself. So some of the challenges that these girls face in school is not having good toilet facilities in their schools to help their menstrual hygiene, as well as having clean water. You can imagine a young girl who is on a period and don't even have good water to wash their hands after using the toilet. Okay, first of all, there isn't a good toilet facility, not to talk of clean water, and that's one. Also, not having where they can dispose their products, their menstrual products after usage. These things are not provided. And with all this, it boils down to one thing, which is absenteeism. Because of these facilities not available in the schools, you see girls not wanting to they not wanting to go to school. They absent themselves from school because they can't be on their period and not being comfortable in school. So these are some of the challenges that menstruation has posed to secondary school students and to girls in particular.
Now, you have been involved in humanitarian service like buying of sanitary pads to distribute to girls in school in order to improve their menstrual health. Was there a menstrual, challenge that you came face to face with that motivated you to undertake this service to humanity?
Okay, yes, yes, there was. Um, Before then, I think the passion was just to actually educate these young people on what menstrual health is all about, menstrual hygiene is all about. But then I had a conversation with a young girl, and this was what fueled my desire to press forward. You know, a young girl who doesn't know that during a period, she's supposed to wash undies and not preserve them for months or for weeks before washing it and using it back. So I having a discussion with this girl made me understand that really, if at this age and at this time, she doesn't have the knowledge of how to take care of herself. That means there are other secondary school students out there who don't even have the knowledge of this thing. So that was what fueled it. And also, while growing up, I think I never had the knowledge of what kind of product, that menstrual product to use. And at if I'm not using them, what are the disadvantages of not using these things, and what are the advantages of using these things? So these were one of the things. Now, when I'm talking of menstrual products, you know, in as much as we have pads, some people use cotton material as well as tissue paper. These things are not really hygienic in itself. That's why pad is better. And if you're using pad, for how many hours should you use it? So these were some of the things I find challenging. And having discussed with this young girl, I felt okay, other people need out there, other young girls out there need to hear this thing. So that was what brought about the going out to speak to this secondary school student.
Okay. Have you yourself found yourself in such a situation? Like, have you ever had such an experience? And if you did, what was it like? Perhaps for the first time.
Okay, well, I wouldn't say the experience was so bad because I had my mom around at that point. So it was easy for me to it was a walk in. Yeah, so it wasn't challenging for me. It wasn't
Oh,
challenging.
now, okay. Do cultural and religious and taboos and social now make it difficult to teach and talk about menstrual health? Miss
Sorry,
Blessing,
I didn't get that.
do cultural and religious taboo and social norms make it difficult to teach and talk about menstrual health?
Okay, well, the truth is it doesn't really affect the educating, like that's educating young girls. Yeah, culture nor religion doesn't affect maybe trying to educate people on menstrual hygiene. It doesn't affect it. In as much as the cultural they have their own belief, but there is no encouraging to the best of my knowledge. They don't encourage maybe trying to educate these young people on what menstrual hygiene is, because if it was going out, my foundation going out to speak to these young people, it would have posed a greater threat. But no, it's not. I don't believe culture nor religion has a threat to talking about menstrual hygiene.
Okay, obviously, menstrual health challenges have become a major contributor to poor learning performance and poor grades, even to girls dropping out of school. What are your thoughts?
Okay, yes, that's the truth. Menstruation in itself, like it's, how would I put it? It's a full package. Yeah, menstruation itself is a full package. You know, everybody's body system is different. Their reproductive system is actually different. So we find some girls who are in excruciating pain during this period. We find people who, they have this nauseating trauma. They're always wanting to vomit. They're in serious pain. While some people, to them, it's a free world. Like they feel relaxed. Other people don't. So I believe that this challenges has really cost the educational, like has made the educational sector like to lack. And these girls themselves, it has affected their education. Because some people, you don't expect me going through so much pain and you're telling me to go to school. How? It's not possible. So it has really cost so much to them. But I believe that when they are educated well on how to go about their menstrual health, they can always outgrow this challenge. They can always get education and get it very well. They can be educated, even within that space of their menstrual cycle.
Okay, now, does it have psychological implications?
Yeah, it does because when you're they make jokes at you, laugh at you, and all that. Yes, it has psychological effect. You can see them being emotional, not and their self esteem is down because of this thing. So there are psychological effects attached to it
Okay.
based on where these girls find themselves, especially in school, in a setting where you have to be talked down at maybe by the males in your class or your male teachers. So
So,
yes, there is.
yeah. Now, let me pick you up that. Menstruating girls seems to suffer some sort of teasing by, other learners, including male students and some male educators as well. Now, in what way do you think this stigmatization can be discouraged?
I didn't get that. Can you come again?
Menstruating girls seems to suffer some sort of teasing, that is mockery, by other learners, including male students and some male educators, that is male teachers as well. The question is, in what
Yeah.
way do you think this stigmatization can be discouraged?
Okay. Well, they say knowledge is power and knowledge is key. Now, I will take it from this angle. Let's imagine that we have a special needs child in a school. And then when the teacher brings the special needs child to that school, tells the students, this child you're seeing is a special needs child, and therefore cannot study the way you were studying in school. When it takes maybe a minute for you to process something, this child has to take up to like 20 minutes to process to get that same point. You would see that there will be this receptiveness in that class. Other students believe, okay, she's special, so we have to treat her special. There is understanding. So I believe for stigmatization to be reduced, both the male and the female have to be educated on what menstruation is about, what the menstrual health is about, make them understand that the girls are normal. It's a normal process in their life for them to menstruate. When this knowledge is passed down, they are well educated on this aspect. I tell you, the stigmatization will be reduced because most of these males they don't have sisters. They've not experienced. They don't even know what these experiences are. So you can imagine when they are educated, it will help them to accept the female gender in a good faith and to also help them during this process when they are going through their maybe menstrual trauma or anything. So I think knowledge is one thing, and also punishing those males that default in this aspect would help put them in check. You can imagine when a boy maybe sees a girl and all that, and she goes to report to the school authority, and the boy is punished. He won't try it next time. So that's my own my what I know can always help stigmatization
Okay, so as
when they are punished for any wrongdoing.
As far as you are concerned, corporal punishment could be the best mechanism to employ in discouraging this stigmatization by, male students.
Yes, and also educating them on what these things are
Okay,
because knowledge is key. When they have knowledge about it, it will help them.
all right. Now, how about the male teachers, male educators that, indulge or involve in such, acts?
Well, like I said, but the fact that someone is an educator, there are various sectors in education. It doesn't mean they are knowledgeable. So we won't generalize that it's every male educator that does this. So I would want to believe that any male educator who does this is not educated in that aspect. That's the truth because I believe if you are really if you're a good educator, you should know what these things are. So if as much as fine we have people who are not true to themselves, they believe okay they have knowledge about these things and they act up. They can all as well be punished by the law. They can as well be punished.
Now,
But educating them is key.
dignity, self-confidence, and self-esteem seems to elude guests why menstruating because some cultures have attached stigma to menstruation. For instance, culturally, guests are denied the opportunity to cook while menstruating. How do you encourage guests who find themselves in such circumstance?
Okay, I'll take it from this angle. Now, let's see it in the Bible. During Moses' reign with the Israelites when they were in the wilderness, you can imagine that there were rules about this for every lady who is on a period is unclean. So the cultural aspect got this whole thing from there because so it's not out of place for them to act that way. But something happened when Christ came, redemption came, everything changed. We no longer see, okay, if you do this, you have to kill this ram, you have to kill this goat, you have to kill this. So light shone, and a lot of things was transformed. So the same thing I believe in the cultural aspect. When education comes, everything changes. When these people who have once believed that these people are unclean, if they're educated about what menstruation is and why they are normal people, I tell you, a lot of things will happen. Education is that light, just like Christ came. Education is that same light that these people need to know what these things are. And then for the girls themselves, while we are dealing with their cultures, we're dealing with the old people who once had a belief system. While we're dealing with them, these girls also have to know that they are normal. So educating them themselves is also key. Imagine you tell a girl that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. For everything that goes wrong in your life, or for everything that you see that you don't understand, it is God who created them. So also, the flow of blood in your system is God who made them. And then, because you are the most precious gift, it's only the female gender who brings about reproduction. So when you tell them that you go through this process, that life may be increased, that reproduction can take place, that is why you are valuable. I tell you, their self-esteem will be developed. They will have every reason because they see themselves as the most precious jewel on earth. So when they themselves are educated on what these things are and why they should be proud of who they are, everything will become. So educating them, education being the light to everything, just like when Christ came to earth and everything changed, people are no longer as unclean. That is what education will also do to both the culture and to these girls at last.
What are your parting words?
Well, what I would say is to every young child, to every young girl who has gotten to this stage of puberty and they are going through menstrual crisis and all that, it's a gift from God because God saw them as someone who is what reproducing another creator, reproducing another creature of Eve. That is why He made them that way. So they are good, they are perfect. They shouldn't see themselves as imperfect or dirty. And then there are other ways that there are other things they can do to help feel comfortable. That is using a comfortable pad. You might not be able to get all you need. And during your crisis period, you can always make use of drugs also to feel calm. So in all these things, in all the pains, in everything, just know that you are perfect, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And because your price is far above ruby, nobody, if the male factor cannot look like you. That is why you are worth more than anything. So see yourself as that thing, as that one whom cannot be bought. So walk with with that grace, even when you're in your menstrual period. Walk with that grace that yes, I'm going through this because God has seen me deem fit to bring another creature to life. Because without this process, there won't be reproduction.
Blessed,
Thank you.
I'm afraid this is where we have to take a wrap on the show. I must say thank you for being on interview with Stephen Ahwen.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you.